Hello there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, survivor, and advocate. I'm so glad to be chatting with you today. And we have some really awesome things to talk about, especially what's going on in the world. People are freaking out. There's a pandemic with this virus. And I have a lot of thoughts and encouragement and inspiration that I would like to share with you today. An effort to give you hope and to help you to keep on keeping on despite the oppositions that you may be facing today, tomorrow, and even the rest of this month. And so we must understand a few things. And the first one is this, right from the very beginning, when we started hearing in the news media and social media about the coronavirus, I knew right from the start that there was a spirit of fear, this oppression, this dark cloud of heaviness over our world. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not caving into fear. This message today is to remind you that you are a survivor, that you are a fearless warrior, and that you can rise above any obstacle that comes your way, no matter what it is. And so I've been thinking a lot these past weeks. I've been unplugging from TV especially. And the reason why, there's so much misinformation out there. We have to use caution, discernment, and wisdom on who we get our credible information from and weed out the rest of the trash. There's a lot of fear factor involved. A lot of people hoarding. We already know about it because we've heard it. You know, hey, how many of you are searching for toilet paper still? I'm thankful I found one 4-pack. Nevertheless, let's move on to what's really at the heart of today's message. And that is, wow. So I've been thinking the past few weeks about how this pandemic has hit all over the world, including the United States where I reside. And so I started thinking, and this is what I've come to the conclusion of. I have overcome a lot. I know many of my followers have survived so much hardships. Many of you share with me the things you are going through. I know about your health. I know about the family dysfunction, the narcissistic abuse, the flying monkeys, the ex-husband who cheated on you. I mean, I know your story because so many of you have been so brave and shared your story with me. And I thank you for that today. But today I want to remind you of what we've gone through, what we've been through, and what we're going to get through. Because when the going gets rough, we're going to keep on keeping on. And so I start thinking about, what have I survived? What have I been through, say, even in the past, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, and there's a lot. I started thinking of everything, and here it is. While there is, something in front of us that may cause us some anxiety, we may be overwhelmed, I fear not. I have no fear, because when you have hit hell rock bottom, when you have been through the darkness and you have been in the pit of despair and you have been in the valley of the shadow of death like I have, you realize you could survive anything. And so here's a few things that I have dealt with in my life. I've battled and I have fought hard to overcome. I have survived child neglect and abuse. I have survived narcissistic abuse, including abuse from the toxic siblings. I have risen up from the betrayal of my toxic family. I have dealt with chronic pain, and while I'm 80% better, I still have fibromyalgia. I still have herniated discs, and guess what? Last month, I was just diagnosed with 3 more bulging discs in the cervical neck area because I had a freak accident 4 months ago. That's for another video. Nevertheless, I press on. I believe that I am an overcomer. I have been through sexual assaults, statutory rape, my brother-in-law sexually assaulting me. I have been through PTSD, which is really complex PTSD, which is long-term abuse. and sexual assaults, and on and on and on the trauma goes. I have been through Cymbalta and benzo and Effexor and gabapentin withdrawals. I have been through a lot with medications because I was not given informed consent. I was on my deathbed in November 2010, and it's only by the grace of God that I'm alive today. I have been through being homebound. They're talking about, self-isolate. I know all about self-isolation, people. When you go through rock bottom with benzos, especially the benzodiazepine group of medicine like Klonopin, Valium, Ativan, lorazepam, Xanax, and on, you learn to self-isolate because you're going through so much horrifying physical, emotional, and cognitive pain that is excruciating, and you learn that self-isolation is your friend. So, I am no stranger to staying at home and finding other ways to distract myself with something positive. And that is what I really began doing 10 years ago during the midst of my Cymbalta and Ativan journey, trying to fight for my health, trying to fight for my life, trying to just take one breath at a moment, one day at a time. And I found out that there was a lot that I could do. So instead of focusing on what I can't do, like you can't control the coronavirus, you can't control benzodiazepine withdrawals, you can't control toxic people, you can't control people who disvalue you, who don't respect you or your healthy boundaries. We can't fix them. We can't control them. We can control us. We can control our response. And so back in the days of the healing journey, I realized I could journal. I could soak in a hot Epsom salt bath. I could use calming essential oils. I could find doable ways to take care of myself, which part of it is just getting the right rest, trying to sleep, trying to unplug and focus on things that we do have control over, and to always consider hope, because there is always hope for health and healing and so forth. Next is, I've survived financial crises. I have survived a home foreclosure. I have survived challenges in my marriage. I have several books that do get into it, especially my new one, Soul Cry, shares the entire story. Love story, but it also shares the hard rock bottom of marriages when they break up. So my marriage had broken up over 13 years ago. And if you want to know the whole story, you might want to read Soul Cry. Grab it while you can, because today it's still on sale for $2.99 in the Kindle ebook version. And tomorrow it's back up to its regular price. And the meanwhile, what else have I overcome? I have overcome compounded trauma, estrangement from my family. When we form boundaries and then the narcissistic parent and siblings disrespect our boundaries and they punish us and they triangulate our relationships and they create smear campaigns and they manipulate, they gaslight, and they do everything they can to destroy us, it takes a strong person to rise above that. And I have done it. If you could rise above fibromyalgia and chronic pain and herniated discs and toxic relationships and some really hard times in marriage, financial crises, you lose your home, you lose your health, you lose your mind, trust me, benzos cause brain damage. Do your own research, check it out. Check out Dr. HeatherAshton.com. And she shares the Ashton method to try to help you taper safely. Nevertheless, there's a lot that I have risen above. There's so much that you have fought for. You fought for your sanity. You fought for your healing. You fought for your job. You fought for your family. You fought for peace of mind and healthy boundaries. And this is so essential in being who we are meant to be and living out our purpose. Next is we must rise up from the ashes. Have gratitude. Find the things, tangible things, that right now you are thankful for. Try to switch your focus off the pandemic and instead Think about the things that you are blessed with. Do you have good health right now? Well, thank goodness you do. That's a blessing. Consider, do you have a home? Do you have toilet paper? Do you have food? Do you have a warm bed to sleep in? Do you have anyone kind and loving and uplifting in your life? If so, consider this to be something extremely special and have thanks for it. Next is, instead of thinking about, oh my gosh, I don't have control over all the food shortage and all the things going on and all these businesses that are closed and this whole viral thing going on, I don't have control. You know what? We can't get caught up in the fear factor. We must release it, surrender it, and really change our focus to become more mindful of right now, this moment, this breath. What do we have control over? Well, let's start with a few things that I know I have control over. I have control over my thoughts. I don't have to let fear cave in. I don't have to let all the things that are surfacing online, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on the news, I don't have to let that get me filled with anxiety where I'm paralyzed and fear. Instead, I start thinking about, what can I do? What do I have control over? I have control over my mind, over my thoughts, over how I spend my time. So I'm doing a lot of reading. I'm doing a lot of listening to music, writing and journaling, and boosting my immune system. So I'm focusing on a lot of things that are very doable. So I'll share a few with you. For one, I'm boosting my immune system with oil of oregano. This is an awesome brand by Gaia Herbs. Gaia Herbs is a super organic, pure company. I give them 2 thumbs up. Oil of oregano. Next is, most of you know, I am a big believer in CBD oil. Now, it doesn't mean we're flying high, okay? There's plenty of CBD that has either no THC, meaning no euphoria, or it's very minor THC. I'll be the first to say and admit, and this is actually something I'm super excited about, is that I just became an official medical marijuana patient. I finally bit the bullet. I'm like, this is it. I've been wanting to do this for several years. I've been wanting to experiment with medical marijuana, not for the whole euphoria aspect. I'm talking for the healing, for the recovery, for the wonderful, beautiful, positive benefits of cannabis. Cannabis is antiviral, antibacterial, anti-seizure, anti-tumor. It helps reduce the inflammation. It helps with anxiety, depression, all kind of diseases and disorders. And I am using this one. Isn't it awesome? I don't know if you could see the name, but it's called Hope. Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful way to remember that we could still have hope when we're boosting our immune system and trying to reduce our fibromyalgia pain and all the other pain out there. I'm dealing with some new injuries from that accident I had 4 months ago. And so I am dealing with some new symptoms. And so I am not focusing on, oh, woe is me. No. I'm focusing on, hey, I have the power to try to increase my quality of life and decrease my pain. And so I am using, it's called Hope. And it is, I'm looking at it, it is CBD. And yes, it does have THC. So because I now have this card, you have to, in my state, have the actual official documentation from your doctor to approve getting a medical marijuana license, the whole certification thing as a patient. So here it is. It is CBD. There's no euphoria with it. It's basically 1-to-1. So it's like 1 part THC to 1 part CBD. There is absolutely no euphoria. I typically take it in the evening because I noticed it does make me a little bit sleepy. So it's very relaxing, which is extremely beneficial during this pandemic. We need to find ways to calm ourselves, ground ourselves, find peace of mind. So I am really pumped about this new medical marijuana card. I'm also using a topical cream. It's extra strength and it's wonderful. It's a CBD THC cream put it all over the body. I mean, literally, when you have fibromyalgia, I mean, there's like 18 trigger points. So trust me, I go through a lot and pretty fast. However, I'm telling you, the first day I applied, especially to my left shoulder that I injured 4 months ago and my neck, I applied the extra strength THC and CBD cream. It's from the Healing Centers. Love, 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 love this place. And they're helping so many people. So many people are recovering. So many people who are battling PTSD, who are battling depression and anxiety and chronic pain and cancer and seizures and so many disorders and diseases and just a lot. They have a lot on their plate. They're finding a lot of healing, health, and hope with medical marijuana. So we must not get caught up in the stigma that it's people trying to get high. Instead, this is people trying to improve their quality of life and their health. So the day that I used the first time on especially this left shoulder, the extra strength lotion, like that, my pain disappeared. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a godsend. It's a godsend. So what else am I using? I'm boosting my immune system with Sovereign Silver. I love Sovereign Silver because it's colloidal silver. It's excellent for the immune system, viruses and so forth, coughs, cold, upper respiratory. You know, that's upper respiratory is everything to do with what's going on with the coronavirus, coughs, colds, fevers, and so forth. My little medical disclaimer is that none of these am I claiming to cure you. So my medical disclaimer is that this video is based on my own personal experience. It's not to diagnose you, cure you, or to give you a prognosis and so forth. This is just my own testimony, my own personal experience with holistic wellness products. You may do your own research, but please take care of you and understand there are countless ways to boost our immune system. Next is bergamot. So bergamot's very calming. It's more grounding. It's really great to use for emotional wellness and emotional support, especially during these uncertain times. I love it because A, it smells great. I love the scent and aroma of bergamot. And next is that it relaxes me. It doesn't really so much make me go to sleep, but it's very calming and I love it. Another is On Guard. So On Guard I'm using as a way to boost my immune system and to ward off any illness. On Guard is antiviral, antibacterial. It is great for our immune support. Please do your research on it and understand that there are countless essential oils, myrrh, frankincense, rosemary, and so many more that are just fabulous for increasing our quality of health and boosting the immune system, especially now. Next is that I want to end with that now is the time to please unplug from TV. Do not be glued to TV 24/7. Why? Because it can produce anxiety. It's really not helpful to continually be just so consumed in the news media because it's a downer, I'll be the first to admit, and we need to take time for ourselves. Self-care is really, really vital right now. Find ways, whether it's taking a nature walk, bird watching, listening to soft music, go ahead, soak in your hot, warm Epsom salt bath. Consider if reading your favorite books or listening to waterfalls or the pitter-patter of rainfalls or an acoustic guitar or whatever resonates with you. Find humor in small things. So there's a lot of comical tweets and posts out there. Oh, thank you people for having a sense of humor. I think now more than any, we need a sense of humor. Next is laughter is good medicine. We must remember that. And watch comedies. Do whatever you need to do to keep your spirits up. Let hope and faith go viral. Let your hope and faith go viral. This is what we can do. And lastly, we have to remember we are warriors. We have survived so many trials, so many hardships, so many losses and grief, and on it goes. So today, Take back your power. Know that you are a survivor. You could survive this. You've survived already so much other stuff. If you could survive that, you've got this. You've got this. And if you want more inspiration, you could go to danaarcuri.com. Thanks and have an awesome day.